What's up, guys? What's up, Brady Goings? What's up, Irfan VSQ in the house? Who else? Where are you guys? Where are you guys located? Tell me. Where are you guys? Where are you guys based? Films. What is that? Rightful here, man. You guys have to join us during Open Vibe night. Hello, my co-host.
I have to hold my phone on the other hand. So.
Why? What happened?
Changing location.
Oh shit, bro. Where are you, bro?
I'm on a rooftop. I won't dox where I am, but well, the sun's already set. But
oh, you got some good
beautiful
sunset
skyline right now.
What the hell?
You can probably see it in my glass reflection.
Yes, that's artistic right there, brother. Yes, love it, bro. That is amazing. With the sunset, and then now you're in Vibe Sesh, hanging out with the homie, ready to freaking have the best Vibe Sesh ever.
Absolutely.
Damn. Let's see. Okay, where's our special guest of the hour? Bro,
welcome,
I'm feeling
everybody.
good, bro. Oh, Jess is amazing. This is gonna be such a crazy conversation, bro. Oh my God, let me get my notes ready. Where's Jess? Bro, and I just came up with the script while we're waiting for Jess. Is she here yet? No. All right. Oh, let me see. Let me she's here. No, I don't see her. Bro, but so I was the best idea. And if this doesn't go viral, I'm quitting as a Vibe Samurai. I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna erase my Instagram if this does not go viral because I feel I'm gonna make a video, okay? Because we are the forgotten generation, Gen X, okay? And one of my Gen X videos did super well, and the comments lit up, and we're like a real support kind of generation. You know, we're squeezed in between the boomers and the millennials. Everybody's talking about them, but nobody's talking about Gen X, right? So we got a lot of like interest, and that's why Turbine was saying, "Whoa, I love Gen Xers," and you said, "I like Gen Xers." It's that kind of thing, you know. So then
you guys are more empathetic.
Yeah, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call out to all my Gen X brothers and sisters, and I'm gonna tell them, please repost this, replay this. Let's show them that we are not the fucking forgotten generation. That kind of shit, and then boom. What do you think, dude? You think that's
support? Yeah, and I think other Gen Xers want the love for Gen X too, so they would rally behind that.
What's your prediction? How viral is this going? Because I want to capture the whole world. I'm thinking like it's gonna be 100 million. Let's guess right now. Bro, there's got.
I don't even know what the video is, so.
I just told you the video.
Oh well. I want to manifest good things for you. 1 million views.
That's it,
million views.
Oh, the Gen Xers. That means the Gen Xers failed.
Gen Z. I'm 25 too.
All right, Gen Zers, let's also rally for the Gen Xers because Gen Z and Gen Xers, we're brothers and like we're soulmates. Gen Z, we're the soul generations. Gen Z and Gen X,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Gen X is going to be the mentors for the Gen Z, maybe. We can look at it like that.
That's right. Where's Jess? Let's go. We're waiting for Jess. Where? Gen X!
Let's see, we got some Gen Xers, Gen Z.
Oh boy, we don't know where Dr. Jess is. Okay,
people are talking about your white teeth. Let's see here. Someone's saying, "Are you slightly high?"
That's my thing, bro. In a lot of my videos now,
I'll join in. I'll rip the Benjamin.
Oh no,
camaraderie.
Camaraderie or addiction, bro? Bro.
Both.
You call it camaraderie when it's fucking addiction. Oh my God. All right. Dr. Jess in the house.
Welcome.
Hello. Hi.
Doctor.
Because I was like, I don't know how to do Instagram Live. I only know how to click a Zoom link. Where do I
go? Gen Xer or what, Jess?
Technically, I'm a millennial. So
you're a millennial.
Yeah.
87. Is that like a late millennial, maybe?
Yeah, I
You're
think I don't know when it changes, but yeah.
I feel like you got Gen X vibes. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you're a cusper, like a
I mean,
cusper.
I'm a cusper for sure because my husband's yeah, yeah. So that's me.
Okay. Good. Hey, by the way, just how's yoga going?
How's what? Sorry.
Yoga.
Oh my gosh, I love my yoga. And you know what I just decided to start today was
Uh-huh.
something called Weapon Up,
Oh
which
shit. Weapon up in yoga? I thought it was non-violence. Why ain't they talking about
they
weapons?
they literally fuse yoga with kung fu and a sword, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That's
This sounds
samurai training right
badass.
there.
You're lying, Jess. You're
So like, let's
lying.
go.
Are you being serious right now?
Wow.
Yeah. I
That's
just
really cool.
started today.
Wow. Yeah. We're going to get to that because that's all part of the mind body, right? Thing that you
Yep.
like talking about. But
Yep.
Jess, so how does it feel going from vet, a professional vet to now a spiritual woo-woo guide talking on Vibe Sesh? How does that feel? I mean, because that was your life. It's very recently, and now you're a spiritual guide, guiding people in the sacred in between. What a sacred job that is, right? And I know you feel very honored about all that. But yeah, what do you think? How are you feeling? Yeah.
It's it's been this. It's a lot of this. Like it was right now I feel honored and so excited, but like
Mhm.
I think back to previous me and she'd be like, "What the I could cuss, right? Like we're
Yeah,
good."
of course. Cuss, let it out. Nervous
What the fuck
system.
are you doing with the woo woo and the like? What's the matter with you? Like the logical left-brained old version of me is like spinning around. But like I'm so excited and honored to be here.
That's amazing. And you talk a lot about spinning and spiraling. You're very into spirals, guys. So we're going to get to that. I'm just sprinkling in how interesting Jess is. Okay, guys, we're going to be talking about that. But hold on. What was it? Oh, also, Jess, what do you think of the vibes? Because you're a vibe person, right? You're
I love
all
it.
into vibrations. What do you think about the vibes so far? Just
I
here.
I love it. I love the energy and like
All right.
anyone that can help me just like I'm still learning how to be authentically me and just speak my voice and like I already feel like I can do that
Mhm.
here. So the vibe is on fire.
The
Perfect.
vibe is on
I
fire.
love that.
Okay, the other thing, Jess, I mean, because what you've gone through is such an amazing story. I read your two Substack articles, which you wrote this month. Okay, so guys, all of this is fresh right now. And what's interesting about a lot of the Vibe sessions is we've had people in different spots of the sacred in between, right? Like I've had a lot of guests that are focused on this. This is, like happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I like to always put it like when people ask about my transformation, I love Carl Jung, like I love psychology, I love the neuroscience, I also love the woo, but
Hmm.
I always look back like Carl Jung, I spent so much time reading and learning about, and he talks about the liminal space or the sacred in
Hmm.
between, right?
Hmm.
And one way I think of it is like it's the hallway. I've left the door of my old
Mm,
self. I'm inside of the hallway and I
love it.
finally have my hand on the doorknob. Like I'm almost this new identity and version of myself, but like
Mm,
I'm just walking through. So like I'm figuring it out and I'm being
mm,
raw and honest and transparent about what that looks like. And
mm,
I
mm,
think that's part of why like I've gone viral, which also
mm.
was a whole thing, as you
Yeah,
probably read in my article as well.
yeah.
So
But just let me ask you something. So you said, see, because we've talked a lot on these Vibe sessions about authenticity, right? And like what that means, and and one guy that was very interesting. I don't know if you agree with this. I'm talking about Gary Cardone, Cisco. By the way, Cisco is our co-host, just in case you were wondering who he was. All right. But anyway, so Gary Cardone, a guy, a very smart guy. He was talking. He's an older gentleman too. He's like 60s, right? Very wise guy, and he was talking about like, because I was on a vibe session with him, and he asked me, "Hey, so." Because I was telling everybody when I'm on a vibe sesh, I feel super authentic, right? And then so this guy asked me, "Oh, okay. So how authentic feel I was like 95%. And he was like, no, it's more probably 16%. He said, and so his definition is like this radical transparency thing. He's like, I'll share everything, like let it all out. So I am fully free. But I had really thought about it. And this conversation happened 6, 7 months ago. And I still been thinking about it. Like, because I don't want to go there. Like, I don't want to be radically transparent, right? Like, I feel like I have certain things don't want to share. But what do you think about that? Or do you think that's right, that we can have our private things, or you believe in radical transparency?
I'm a little bit of both. Like, and I believe in radical transparency to yourself. I will no longer lie to myself about anything. And my mission or my goal when I come onto Instagram is to be radically honest about who I am, what I represent, and who I'm here to serve. With that said, like, and I'll just say this because like I have a mother wound, and my mom was also my best friend for a very, very long period of time. So going through this has been really, really difficult for her because she doesn't want to do the work. This is not the world she wants to go in, which is fine. We're all on our own path. Right. So like, there's some parts about my healing and my mother wound that I've done that I only share with clients because I don't want to throw it in her face. I have no desire to hurt her feelings, and she would take it, not necessarily, even though I'm not throwing any blame. Like, she did the best she could with the knowledge she had. And like, she loves me to the best of her ability. But that's also hard to hear as a parent, especially if you're not doing this type of work. So yes and no. So like, I'm going to be radically transparent, but there are some things that like I won't bring out and talk about just because I want to protect certain people in my life. But like, I'll also tell you about how last month I got super angry at my daughter for being sick. She's 6, by the way. Like, what fucked up mom gets angry at her daughter for being sick? But I go through the reasons, like what happened. Like, I got curious with it. And the reason I'm so radically transparent is because like, we should all get curious with our emotions. Why are we feeling that way? So like, I will be so honest that you'll kind of go, she just said that? Cool. Like, and there's a part of me when I say it, I'm like, oh God, somebody's going to call CPS. Like,
so what is CPS? What is CPS? Well,
Child Protective Services.
Oh!
You know, people like to, there's a lot of cameras.
Damn. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but Jess, so the thing that I wanted to do, Jess, is just acknowledge you, right? Like, you've been through a lot of stuff, which you're going to share, right? So I just want to hold space for you. This Vibe Sesh is for you, really. And this is your time to share, and where we can all like support and like learn from you, right? And your mission. And I know you got workshops going on. So if somebody needs help, I think, because what's so interesting about this, Jess, is that your work resonates with me so much because I've come to all these conclusions, but in different ways, right? So yeah, so I just wanted to acknowledge you first, and I know you're still going through it, and you can tell, but how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you really feeling about where you are right now? Yeah, because I know it's ups and downs. You talked, right? Yeah. Like the second cage idea, which we'll bring up, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Really good. Yeah, I'm at a really interesting spot in my life where there's some like crazy opportunities coming into my life. And, I talk a little bit about manifestation, and I like to get in the neuroscience of it, but like, there's a part of like, I watch the old patterns and the old shit coming up and like the limitations I have on myself. And then I also see myself breaking into this new person and like, no, like, of course I can do this. So like, I'm in and out. Like, overall, I'm great. My biggest thing I'm working through right now, like personally, is just how do I build this? Because I love working. I love it.
You love what you're doing and content and like helping people.
Content. I love getting into business. I love building it. Like, I love all of it. But the problem is like one of my patterns, which I'll I'm sure get into is like overworking. So I use that.
She has a problem, guys. He's like, where you're not even Asian. I don't understand where does this work ethic craziness comes from. I've never met a Caucasian with this kind of work ethic. Wow. Yeah, I'm used to it. You should
go to vet school with me then. There's a lot of us. Like, it's a certain breed of people, but like that's the thing. That was like the story in my head is that my achievement equals work. Like achievement equals worth. So rest doesn't feel safe for me. So like my current thing is learning how to build a business from flow and not from hustle and grind, because I know how to do that. And like being really present in my work, but being really present at home with my children. So it's overall I'm great, but I'm literally working on presence right now.
You're working on presence, right? Damn, we gotta get back to this. Cisco, you're taking notes or what?
Yeah.
She's working on presence.
I'm reading Psycho-Cybernetics, so it's reminding me of like self-image. You have your old self-image and you're working towards a new one. Yes. And you gotta, it's a glass ceiling, you know. We're like a bird kind of hitting it, but you could break through that fucker. You could just go straight up.
Yeah. And that's like in neuroscience, I can't remember the name of the guy who came up with it, but it's called the upper limit problem. We all have an upper limit, what we're allowed to have, to feel safe with, like, and like that's currently, and even when you break through that upper limit, when you get to the next one, you're just gonna find more. So like maybe stop the finish line and maybe be happy and present right now, just like Eckhart said, but also like that's the hardest fucking thing to do. So like that's what I'm working on. Because all the opportunities are coming in. I'm watching all my manifestations like happen before my eyes, but I'm like, okay, but are you happy right now? Like in the
good
most
question, right?
Lack of my life, like because I'm having stuff come in, but like my husband and I, you read like my story. I guess we haven't gotten into it, but like I left my life savings behind. My husband's been out of work for 2 years. We're building this from the ground up. Like I mean. Again, full transparency, we're literally on food stamps right now. I'm on state approved insurance. Like I am building this from the ground up on a crazy belief and delusion that I'm going to make it. And not just like I might make it, I'm going to make it. And I'm watching the opportunities flow in. So I'm like, oh, my delusions are, hey, shit, they're happening. But like I'm also facing scarcity and lack at the same time. So it's
Bro, you're reporting from the in-between. I tell people that too. Like I'm in my version of the in-between, right? And I'm reporting to you live, right? And on Instagram, which is crazy as well that we're doing this. Oh my God.
Here's my life. Watch it happen.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, before we continue, I wanted to shout out your husband, Beau.
Beau. Yep.
Beau.
Yeah, Beau.
Your husband, Beau, he is more than 1 year sober, okay? But his family and friends did not say congratulations or anything. So I felt some sadness in the note that you put on Substack. And because I know, I've met a lot, I've never been through AA, but I know a lot of friends, a lot of people that we've met on this journey, and I know how tough it is. And I know how tough reaching the 1 year mark is as well. That's a different level in the recovery process. And I wanted to congratulate Beau, guys. Come on, shout out to Beau.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How is he happy? Was that a hard journey for him?
You know, so my husband and I guess are weird in the fact like, and this has taken a lot of like breaking down and unwinding who we are, but like we don't believe in labels. So like he go to AA. He just like his body said he was done and he decided he's done. And he's also at the point like a lot of psilocybin journeys and rewiring his brain. Like it was not hard at all for him to quit. Like once the decision was made, it was kind of like, and I don't do that anymore. And maybe there's a day where he has a glass of wine, but it wouldn't set him back. And I think part of that, and like here's where I get very spiritual and woo-woo and take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But like we are using all of these things to numb ourselves. So like for me, I was using cannabis. I can use it intentionally and it works beautifully to take the ego offline. Because again, huge overthinker over here. I can get super creative and do crazy stuff. But there's a point where I start using it and I'm numbing and I am escaping from my reality.
Yeah, and where's that line, right?
Where's the
that
line? And I think that's where I get back to, that's why you have to learn how to become so radically honest with yourself, so transparent. You know the line the moment you cross it. Like a couple of weeks ago,
oh, that's so crazy. Right, be radically transparent. You know the line.
Yes, because, and here's the thing: when you hit the line, like, you know when you've hit it, because you have anxiety, you have guilt, like all those shitty emotions, and like the moment you start judging, right? Like,
because Jess, after the Vibe Sesh, I feel so good. I usually order a hamburger, and I'm like, I really shouldn't, and I feel so much shame, and I'm like, it's okay. I'm not being radically transparent with myself, right? I'm lying. I'm saying, no, it's going to be okay. I start making up excuses. It was a great Vibe Sesh. Don't worry. You can run it off tomorrow. And I go into this. It's hysterical.
That's exactly it. And we put ourselves in the little cycles and the little loops where, like, I think you can still enjoy the burger, but are you enjoying it? Or are you using that to shame and guilt yourself and spiral? Then, like, yeah, don't do the burger. But, like, if you... Do you know what I mean? Like, so you have to be so honest with yourself. Which one is it?
Right.
Again, you can't get there until you've done the serious, deep inner work, right? Like,
damn. No. Tonight when I order the hamburger, I'm just gonna say, because I want to eat the hamburger. That's it.
Yes.
I'm not lying anymore. I just want to fucking eat the hamburger and enjoy that hamburger. That's it.
That's it, right there. Like, it turns out we create our own reality. Like, we create it all through all the stuff we do in here. Enjoy the damn hamburger.
Yeah, exactly. Jess, let's get to your story. So let's start from the beginning, and we can follow kind of the chronology of the Substack, wherever you want to do it, right? But I want to go before that, because you didn't mention this. What I found interesting was that you didn't mention this in your Substack, which, I mean, you did, but you didn't get into it. But I saw it on your carousel, right? Like your whole initial love for writing. So can we start from there? And you wrote a 90-page chapter, a little girl writing 90-page chapter books about magic, time travel, and people falling in love across lifetimes. Is that right?
Yeah.
And how old were you?
I was, I think, 12 when I wrote that one. And I remember as an adult watching Outlander, and I was like, oh my God, I wrote this. Like, I wrote this one as a kid. This is wild.
You were aware of yourself that you were like, this is wild. You understood how wild that is. Damn.
Yeah. Which go like now into like my woo-woo thoughts is like, we're all, if we become a clear channel to whatever you want to call God, source, consciousness, because like the symbol doesn't matter. Like we keep fighting symbols if it matters. But like whatever it is we tap into, when you become that clear channel, you get a download. If you do nothing with it, that download goes to somebody else, which is why you hear somebody say like, I wrote Star Wars, I wrote The Matrix. Like, yeah, you might have, but so did he. And it's not necessarily that it was stolen. It's that the clearest channel, who has the capacity and the tolerance, maybe not the tolerance, but the capacity to move forward with it, is going to be the one that does. Like, we're not the only ones. Our little ego likes to think that only we can do it, and we'll put our spin on it. But like those divine, like the 12 series fiction novels that I plan on writing, like I've got my spin on it, but I know it didn't come from me. Like I received it in dreams and meditations, and like then I started putting all my spin and all my crazy stuff into it. But yeah, so I don't know what my point was. Oh, so I wanted to be an author when I was a kid.
But do you think, because I have a theory, I want to know your opinion. Do you think at some point in our childhood, we know that clear path? We know our path. We felt our path. Do you feel like that? So, because I feel like that. Like what I'm doing now, it's the same feeling I felt when I was younger. There was a specific moment when I wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to be an FBI agent profiling serial killers. That's how specific my thing was, right? Like it would use psychology, and it would be, you had to be smart, and that was the dream. When I don't even know where that dream came from, to be honest. Now that I'm talking to you, where did that come from? It's not like I watched like FBI movies or series, actually. So I don't know where that came from, that whole idea. And then over time it got lost. I had Asian, very strict Asian parents, and you're not going to make money in psychology. You need to go into finance, right? Which was correct. Like, I have a nice life now because of that. But I got buried that initial interest, which has been wanting to come out, right? So what do you think? You think every child knows at some point and then it gets forgotten, or what? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think so. And I think, like, so here's my neuroscience fun for which I love to talk about is, so from the ages of 0 to 7, we're in a brainwave state called theta, which, theta, you've been in it right before you go to sleep, right when you kind of wake up, that in between dream state, deep meditation, like hypnosis, you're in this theta brainwave state. You're in that from 0 to 7 years old.
The whole time, your whole 0 to 7, you're in theta mode. Mind blowing, guys. Mind blowing. Jess, there's so many video ideas. You got to make videos about all of these things, the ceiling thing, and right, Cisco? And this one is an interesting video idea, but go on. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Explain.
No, that's okay. This stuff gets me excited. So when you're in that state, like, you're a clear source. You're a clear download. So if you're like, these are the things I want to do. And you always hear kids like, I want to be a vet. But the other part of that is, like, we're completely open to whatever we're being taught. So we're being taught by our teachers, our parents, our friends, everybody. And we have the conscious brain is not completely on yet. So you're not sitting there going, is that truth? Is that fiction? You're just And then where it gets interesting, from the age of like 8 to 12, we come out of the theta brainwave states and we start moving in and out of kind of alpha, and where we're going to get to, which is beta, which we live most of our adult lives in beta. And then there's, I'm going to be getting all sciencey, but anyway, so
it's good.
8 to 12, you start then collecting it's confirmation bias, basically. So you start everything you've learned from 0 to 7, you're going to start proving to yourself that it's true. So instead of disputing anything, you're now proving it. So especially if you are from a strict household that you're not going to make money as a psychologist, like, you're pretty quickly going to be steered, like, that's not a safe path. I better go down this path, right?
It's so easy, actually. It's like so easy to wow. And so many forces. You have no chance. You have no chance against this. Okay. Wow.
Which is why, back to your original question, is like, do we know our purpose when we're born? Like, yeah, I think we do. If we're in a family who's like, just be you, just learn, just be whatever you want to be, like, yeah, you still need to. Don Miguel Ruiz, who's like my favorite person in the world, he wrote the 4 Agreements. He calls it domestication. Like, that's programming or conditioning. We're being domesticated. We have to be, as people. Like, we can't all go running around like toddler screams in my face. Like, you have to learn some things, but you can also direct them to just really learn who they are and sit in their purpose and try and not steer them too much. But there's also many to, right?
But Jess, how did you start loving writing, though? How did you get into writing at such an early age? What was do you have writers in your family? And such an early age, and you're so into it, and even the way you're talking about it now, there's so much passion there, right? Like, where did that come from? And you just loved writing at that time? Take me to that. Yeah.
I loved writing, and I loved books. Like, I love the stories that you read. And like, now as I've gotten older, what I kind of realize I love the most is it's a mirror. Like, everything is a mirror for us. So I see it in like everything I watch now, which I'm very specific on what I allow in my consciousness because of everything I know. But like, when I do watch a TV show or a movie, I'm decoding it, because I think consciousness literally moves through pop culture. So whether you're reading a novel, you're watching a movie, and I always use, like, we watch a lot of Disney movies right now, which not all of them, but some of them. So like, Encanto is my favorite to talk about this, because if you've watched Encanto, each of them has a gift, And one of them is the strong sister. And I was completely triggered by her. I hated this movie when I first watched it. And I remember as I started my kind of journey, I was like, why am I so triggered by her? And I realized, oh, I am her. I overwork. She basically feels like she has all responsibility and all pressure on her shoulders. Literally, in her
You're
song,
triggered by her watching Encanto.
yeah, yeah,
It's hysterical. You
yeah.
would watch
Like,
this
she angered
beautiful
me.
movie
I was like,
and you're getting
freaking
triggered.
Disney putting this like strong masculine woman in, trying to like be with their new age. That's not new age, but their, you know, whatever that is. But yeah, it pissed me off. And then I started listening to it, and literally her song is like, if I could find relaxation, maybe then I would feel joy. And the one thing I struggle with is relaxing, because work and everything else, that feels safe to me. I know that my achievement, my worth comes through that output. So when I rest, I feel anxious. My thoughts are going, and I'm like, I have so many other things I could be doing. So she's literally, my whole point, I think I've loved stories because I think they're a blueprint for awakening. If you start viewing it more as, what can I learn from this, especially if it triggers you, there's a reason it's making you feel that way. So get so curious with yourself. Like, why is this Disney female strong character pissing me off? Like, why does it have any effect on me? But when I sat with it, I was like, oh my God, she's me. Oh my God, I don't like myself. Like, and I had to like really work through that. So anyway, I think that's why I love stories. I think it's all just, they're all little mirror stories.
Amazing. That's why she loves stories, because they're mirrors, guys, that trigger her, which then let her explore her emotions. You love the process now. Now, Jess, she told me everything that she's been through. She said, I love the process, all the pain that I've been through, all this. Bring it, bring it. She has that vibe. Like, I love it. Bring the pain. I love the entire process. Wow. Like that. How do you get there? How do you get there? Tell us, our listeners.
It takes a lot of time. Like, I didn't always love the process. Like, I've been in some dark places before so I built that vet clinic when I had already gone through a spiritual awakening. I knew I didn't want to be a vet. I felt like there was no way I could get out. I remember crying in the closet telling my husband, I feel like I've literally built my own cage. I've watched myself build the cage. I'm hammering the chain and I can't get out. And this was, I think, 9 months before I even left the clinic. And between my investment being in there, you know, disappointing my parents, disappointing my friends, disappointing my clients, disappointing my business partner, which it was not a great relationship. It was very toxic, but there were so many things I felt like I couldn't get out from. And what I found was just a lot of darkness, which is why I wanted to start posting about it. And it wasn't comfortable. I didn't enjoy it. You know, I don't look back and wish that on anyone. Like, I had suicidal thoughts. I was closer than I would like to admit, multiple times. And the reason I just bring that up is because, like, I haven't always loved the process. Now that I do feel like I'm on the other side, I look back at all of that and it shaped me. Not just in the sense of like what I'm doing now and how I can help others, but literally I look back and I'm like, I've always wanted to be an author. I now understand the depth of darkness. So like the amount, like, speaking of psychology, the amount I can write about the human condition and going in and out and making this hero's journey just becomes richer. And then I think it always comes back to, like, you cannot appreciate the light of the lights until you have been in the darkest of the darks. Like, I had no idea back then what to appreciate or be there for. So going through that, which is again why I think I have learned this love for the process, is because it shapes us. It makes us who we are. And I don't regret anything. I look back, my husband got an autoimmune condition. And I mean, we thought he was going to be in a wheelchair. My firstborn got eczema. My secondborn got a cleft lip and palate. I wouldn't change any of it. It shapes exactly to where we are now. And then goes back to my woo-woo beliefs of like, I think we chose this life. We chose this path. Nothing's wrong. It's how do we enjoy and be a part of this human experience, whether it's wonderful and amazing, or it's shit and it's crap. Like, because we're going to have it all. You can experience all of it here. It's not all going to be great and happy.
Right. So why not love it? Right.
So why not love
all the shitty things why not love it? You have two choices: hate it, be angry, be frustrated, or love it. That is amazing.
You're in control. Like, nobody else can do that for you. That's it. You're the only one. So are you going to choose happiness, or are you going to choose to continue suffering? Which, like, I think that's been the biggest thing. And I can't remember his name, but this guy, he's really funny. He's kind of goofy, and he always calls people goofy. He's got a ton of followers, and he always slaps his chest. He's super buff, and he has this like 5-minute reel that I watch, and he's like, "Learn to love the process," and I'm like, "Holy shit, that's it! Learn to love the process." And I'm like,
"Learn to love the process."
I gotta send it to you. This is so good.
Learn to learn. We gotta have him on Vibe Sesh, all four of us. Us four. You gotta come back. You gotta come back.
Let's run it.
I told my husband, I was like, I don't know, he's not my type, and then I couldn't stop watching. I was like, well, I actually kind of like him.
Wow. Hey, but Jess, what do you think about, like, you were saying, like, because the videos that are doing well, and I had a video like this as well, it's talking about that awareness as a curse, right? Like, especially in the earlier stages, it becomes a curse, and so many people resonated. I made a video that did very, very well. I've seen a lot of other similar they quote Nietzsche and talk about the curse of awareness, right? Yeah. And so you were talking about that, right? Like, so tell us more about that. I'm curious about your thoughts. Like, how do you get from it's a curse to it's a blessing?
Yeah, I think it's a phase like every single one of us has to go through in this process, because like it's like having stages of grief, right? Like you know what I mean? Like you have to go through all of the stages. And I think that point where like you literally sit there and you're like, oh my God, this is why they said ignorance is bliss. Because it's true. You don't know what you don't know.
Another video idea right there. And then, wow. Okay.
But that's the thing is like, I think when we get to that point where like awareness feels like this curse, we're in the grieving process. We're not just grieving all of the things, you know, we thought were true. We thought like, I thought Western medicine, I made my doctrine. I was a Christian. They told me my grandpa was going to hell because he didn't believe in Jesus. And I was like, doesn't make sense. He was a great guy. Like, so I went atheist, which eventually
just from the fact that they made fun of your grandfather. They basically
told me they told me he was going to hell. And like, it didn't fit. And I mean, I was also in a church that like, and I loved Harry Potter, like that's probably not a surprise, but like they said, if you read Harry Potter, you're going to hell. If you're a woman, you need to stay home and, you know, take care of your children. And like, it was a very strict Christian religion. It was Southern Baptist. So there was a lot of little nails in the coffin for me. And I took that to be like, well, then there's no God. So, oh, well.
Okay.
And then I went to vet school. Well, I went, you know, to undergrad and vet school. And all through that, I started making science really became my religion. And then it was everything.
You replaced the older.
I replaced it. Yeah. Because I was like, well, I can prove that. That's real. And then I think on top of that, like you have this external authority who like, why would they lead you astray? Why would the government lead me astray? They must have my best interest at heart.
You got it now. Why would they lead you astray?
I started peeling, and that was like the crack for me. Was my you know, my husband is all. I've always looked at him. He's always told me things where I'm like, you're a conspiracy theorist. That's all bullshit. And now like here I am, and I'm like, oh, it's not conspiracy. Shoot. Like he told me how.
Oh, so he was ahead. He was ahead of you in terms of the awareness thing. Yeah.
Totally ahead of me, but he was so locked in still, I think, in the fear, and it's because it's a trap too. When you only look at the external authority and everything going wrong,
yeah,
you stop looking within, and change only happens here. Like at the end of the day, you can't change anything unless you are right with yourself, and like that all goes back to radical self-honesty, self-love.
Damn. Lots of fire tonight. Oh my God.
There's so much. This is the best vibe session. Guys,
This
everybody,
is your
let's take
first
some.
live?
Is this your
amazing.
first live?
Yes, my first live. I didn't know how to do it.
Are you serious?
I didn't know how to get on.
Oh my!
So.
You are going to be so huge. Hey guys, everybody, please follow Jess. She's amazing. We still have so much left in this show. Wow, we're just beginning. Oh my gosh, Jess, this is crazy. I wanted to ask you about something. So, okay, how about this? So, okay, so what happened then? What made you lose faith in your new religion of science?
It was little things all, that all piled together. But, the first was like my husband got an autoimmune disease. They put him on a Western medication, an immunosuppressant, and then he'd get a side effect, and then they'd give him another medication, and then he'd get another side effect, and then they'd add another one on. And I'm sitting here like as a doctor who spends time with my patients, and I love puzzles, so I always love trying to get to the root. Although what I didn't understand as a Western medicine, like I never did get to the root, I just handed drugs out. So it started making me question. It felt like my religion was failing me. And I went from having, he started cycling where his alcoholism got so severe, they gave him opiates. So then he got an opiate addiction, and he could barely move, barely get up from his computer. And it started like kind of cracking things open for me. And then 2020 hit, and my daughter got eczema, and he started telling me, here's how 2020 is going to go. Here's what they're going to do. And and he's like, and then they're going to make you wear a mask. And then it's going to be 2 weeks. And then he's like, then they're going to keep doing it. I'm like, and then it happened. And I'm like, how'd you know that? Like, and I remember sitting there going, nobody's going to wear a mask. That's not going to happen.
You said that. I didn't even think about it. I just put on my mask. I'm so conditioned. Put on your mask. I put on my mask. I can't believe we put on masks back then.
Same here, man.
Damn. Oh my God. That's so embarrassing. Oh my gosh. I put on masks at some point. Woo. That's wow. All right.
And so like it just started breaking my paradigm like a little bit more. And then my firstborn got the eczema, and I went to the doctor, and they said, here's your steroid cream, put it on, pulse therapy. And I'm like, well, how long? Why does she have it? I don't know. Kids just get it sometimes. And then they're like, put it on until it goes away, and then put it back on when it starts up again. And I'm like, why is nobody asking why she has it? It's just normal. So then I started researching, and I love research. So, give a dog a bone. Like, I started digging, and like what I started seeing is like, oh my God, like I started getting into holistic medicine. Like nobody's looking at root cause medicine. So I started becoming holistic in my own practice. I hired a functional medicine doctor for my husband, who started asking questions like, how long do you sit at your computer all day long looking at blue light? Do you get up and go into fresh air? Do you drink alcohol? His doctors didn't ask him any of that. And then they started testing, like hair testing and mineral analysis. They started doing supplements that were based specifically for him. And we watched him change dramatically. Like we thought he was going to go in a wheelchair. And that started us down this road of just more and more holistic. And then we were actually in a really horrible place. We were like on the verge of divorce, and I still was in very much the victim mindset, and he continued drinking. And like, you have an autoimmune disease, like that's just going to continue to get worse. And I'm talking like he'd do a fifth of vodka a day. He'd hide it in the garage, pound it at like 5 a.m. He would get up so he could stave off the withdrawals and drink it throughout the day. So like severe alcoholic. And it started like, he used to be a high functioning alcoholic, so nobody ever knew he was drunk. In the last year of his drinking, it was like he couldn't function. He couldn't put a sentence together. His body was literally like, hey, yo, I'm out. This has been 15 years of this. I can't handle it anymore. So he was doing all of this stuff like walking and starting to exercise again while still drinking heavily, still in the victim mindset. And so we were like really close to divorce. We had our second born, and she got diagnosed with a cleft lip and palate in utero, or while I was pregnant, which is basically a hole in the lip and a hole in the roof of the mouth. And that was kind of like the last straw for me, because I basically got told it's your genetics and we don't know. So then I went in and like cleft lips and palates, facial deformities are on the rise, Alzheimer's on the rise, ADD on the rise, and autoimmune disease, cancer, like you name it, right? Everything increasing. And there's this part of me going, well, what's different? Because there's not that much different from the 80s to today. So then I start looking at toxins and everything else. And I started getting into like the quantum world and quantum mechanics. And at this point,
okay. That's an interesting connection. Just go on. You went from getting, like, cleft research to quantum, cleft research to how did we get from cleft research to quantum? Oh my God. Okay, continue.
I started being on Instagram and seeing people talking about quantum healing and quantum mechanics. And so I started kind of going down that road, like, what does that mean? And so I ended up going to a holistic vet conference. And at that point, they had a quantum healing lab. And
I know, like, what is that? Explain, what is that? Quantum healing lab. I read that in your Substack. I was like, what does that mean? You know?
It was a meditation. Like, that's what it was. Like, it really was a meditation. And so
it's just a marketing word? Quantum? Why are they calling it quantum? Oh, okay, got it.
It was totally a marketing. Like, it absolutely was. But she talked about Nikola Tesla, which was my first time ever hearing about him. So the first half was all about Nikola Tesla, and then all about the kind of the quantum realm and the quantum mechanics and what they're starting to like learn and figure out from it. And then the second half was supposed to be a lab, and I was like, I'm gonna learn so many cool things for my patient. Like, I'm gonna be a witch, basically, is what I thought. And and so that was like the first time I really sat in a meditation. I had never done it before. And it was a guided meditation. And I met God. Like, that was the first point. At this, I was still very silent.
Hold on, back up. What kind of meditation do you see God like that? I mean, walk us through what kind of was it multi-day? Give us more details on this thing.
Just one. It was just one. It was 45 minutes, and she just guided us through. Like, I was laying on a hotel conference room floor. And I always say, like, because I haven't got there again without the aid of cannabis or psilocybin. But it's kind of like, you know, when you're first learning poker and you hate learning with a new person because they have beginner's luck, right? Well, I think that meditation was my beginner's luck, because I've never got in like that without an aid. So you can, it's just, I have not.
What do you think that means? What do you think that means? You think there was some divine thing going on, or?
One, I think my ego is in the way. Yes, I think one is I had no idea what to expect. So it was like my mind just kind of moved out of the way. My brain couldn't predict anything. And so, I think it truly was like a divine lock in. And it was like this overwhelming dissolving into the I am that I am, like truly dissolving into the presence where time span, like there is no time. You feel like you're a part of everything and everyone. And it's unexplainable. Like, that's the best that I can do. And again, I've only felt it again using an aid. So when that happened, there was a couple things. Is like a couple thoughts just like came right in. Was like, I became a veterinarian for everyone but myself. So I'm literally living off somebody else's blueprint. And I'm so unhappy inside of my life. And I have the power to change it. So I came home, and this is like, my husband and I were doing terribly at this point. And I came home, and I remember talking to my therapist before I had even seen my husband. I was staying at my mom's. I can't even remember why. We were probably in a fight. And I remember talking to my therapist, and I was like, I can't change him. Like, I finally realized I have no control over anybody but myself. And I've been trying to control him our whole entire marriage. So like, she goes, great, you figured it out. And she goes, so what are you going to do? Are you going to stay and accept him for who he is? Or are you going to leave? Because like, you have two choices here right now. And I was like, I have to leave. Like, if I want to be the best version of myself, I don't know if I can do it with him, because I'm constantly getting triggered and pulled back into fights and pulled back. So it was like, I finally made, instead of just a threat, like in my brain, it was like, nope, I have to leave. And I came home that night, and he looked me in the eyes, And like, this is where we can talk about frequency and stuff. He's like, I knew you were going to leave me. And he goes, in that moment, it all hit me. And he goes, I realized like I was going to lose everything. So I might as well enjoy this time that I have left with you. And he just grabbed me and started kissing me. And it was like, he ended up going through a spiritual awakening. And then we ended up doing the entire awakening together. Where
come on, man. This is a fucking movie, Jess. Jess, what are we,
which is why you learn to love the process.
Love the process. Oh my God. Cisco, I think you missed it. I know you were changing locations. I'm bringing you up right now. Oh my God. That is crazy. But let me ask you this, Jess. When your husband, so you're about to leave, your husband looks you in the eye, he sees your eyes, and in his mind, he says, oh my gosh, Jess is serious. She's gonna fucking leave now. I mean, just think about it from his side, because you were 1000% sure you're going to leave,
1000%.
and he sees that in your eye, and it completely, a spiritual awakening happens, Cisco. Her husband has a spiritual awakening and starts kissing her, and you know, like the whole love comes back.
And it was so bizarre, because I remember that kiss and just going, oh, we're gonna work out. Like I was 100%, like totally.
That must have been an amazing kiss. Go, Beau! Go!
Yeah,
He's a man kisser, bro. He got kissing stepped up. Wow.
Which, even how we met, like everything about our story is just bizarre. We met on a video game called Clash of Clans, which I don't know if anyone remembers that here.
Really?
Bro, tell us that story. Wow. Because I always wondered, do these nerds ever meet each other?
They do. I mean, it was us playing and like 13-year-old kids as well. Like, I'm so lucky I didn't get catfished. But we
very lucky
playing, and we started talking, and like this makes me like I just accept who I am. So nerdy. Like, he made a spreadsheet. Like, we had a clan, and he was the clan leader, and he was tracking our wars and who was doing well. And like, we started talking, and I was like, oh, how sexy. He made a spreadsheet. Like,
you thought that was sexy? You thought that was sexy? Did that turn you on, like, mentally? Like, intellectually? You're like, whoa.
I think it was the mental. Yeah, because I had dated a lot of not so great people before him. So my bar wasn't high. So it was good for him there.
But that spreadsheet he checked off.
I've gotten out of a relationship with, like, a lovely narcissist. So, like, yeah. Oh, Beau, it says Beauism is also watching this live video.
Beau, what's up, brother? You're amazing, bro. Love the spreadsheet, bro. Spreadsheet, bro. You nerd.
So then we started emailing back and forth and talking, and probably for like 4 or 5 months, and like we fell in love over email. I never once heard his voice. We never got
mail.
What's that? Yes, totally.
You got mail. Uh-huh.
Yep. And so then and at this point, I will tell you, like, I didn't believe in love. I never wanted to get married. I never wanted to have children. So
wow. Okay.
he kind of blew all of that out of the water for me. And we met on February 14th at 12:02 a.m. for the first time, looked in each other's eyes, and started kissing. And then, like, that night, we're like, oh, so we're getting married. And, like, that's
wait. So how quickly were you guys kissing? You guys meet on top of the... We
kissed on top of the Empire State Building.
Yeah. You met, okay.
we met in San Diego. He's from San Diego, and he lived out there at the time. And I drove out there because, like, sad story, my dog was dying, and he loved the beach, and I lived in Phoenix. So I was like, no obligation to meet, but like, I'm coming to give my dog like his last time. And he goes, well, you can stay here. And I said yes. And again, like, thank God he was a real man and didn't want to murder me, because like I drove on out, went to his house. Like, it's not like my smartest thing to tell
Is that a real risk, this catfishing thing? I don't know this world of video games. And this, like,
I mean, I don't know. It never happened to me, but like, it seems, I think there's bad stories out there. I don't want to look them up.
Hey, but let me ask you something. So what about Beau blew you out of the water? Because you said, because I can see that. You're like, oh no, I'm not getting married. I'm not gonna have kids. I'm gonna be this and that. And then you said he blew it out of the water. What about it? Like what changed? And
I
that
think
what mhm.
it was the conversations, to be honest. Like, and we had so many things that were similar, and we're still like that. Like the way, I mean, even though in our worst of times, and I believe you as conspiracy theorists, like there was still so much that we agreed on. Like we just easily agree how to parent. We easily agree on what our next steps are. Like it's gotten better since we've had our awakening and we've moved through all of this. But like even back then when it was not good, there was just something, I don't know, not explainable. But
Wow.
yeah, just my person. And this, again, back to my woo-woo, like I think we're twin flames, which twin flames doesn't mean you end up with the person, but it means you trigger the holy shit out of each other until one or both of you wake up. And like we were lucky enough to do that and stay together. And like now I'm in the most amazing, beautiful relationship I've ever been in. Like as a little girl, all I wanted to do was be in love and be married and have the children. And a lot of things happened where I went, never that's going to happen. But like I look back and I see like, oh, I was delivered everything I've ever wanted and I get to live it now. And that again, like even though I sit in this lack and scarcity, if I look at the external world, my internal world is so abundant and so rich, like where my husband and I are at, how we're raising our children, that we're on food stamps, we're trying to make ends meet, and like we still get to live in this house. Like I have a roof over my head, I still have my car, I have nothing to complain about. I am so incredibly lucky. And like I also believe so truly with my heart that because of that's my internal reality, my external reality is going to start mirroring that same thing. And again, you get to watch me do it because I'm like, here it is. This is what I'm going through. Like I wrote down on Substack, like we might be moving into his parents' house with them, but like we're gonna do it.
Wow. Wow. But so that's what surprised me, just that you guys have been through, and you discussed this on the Substack, that you were very resentful, and what did you call it? You just said it was like warfare or something. It was like very, very bad. But even during that time, though, there was a certain level of respect. No, because you've heard of Gottlieb, right? The marriage researcher guy. Do you know who he is? So
No.
there's a guy who studied like marriages. Okay, he's like was featured in some books like Blink and stuff. So he's a guy who's been doing marriage research or couples research for 20 years. And he has a love lab, right? Where he records couples like solving a puzzle together or whatever. And he used to record them with his team, right? And so he was able to predict, after all these years of research, who would get divorced in say 3-4 years with like a 95 accuracy rate.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And he called it like the four horsemen, but one of them was contempt. Like, so if a couple is like, you're a piece of shit and you're below me, it's like, it's over. It's like, that's very, very bad. So you guys were going through a lot of stuff, but were you able to maintain some level of communication? Were you apologizing and forgiving quickly? Like, what was that like? Because,
Yeah, not pre-awakening. Like pre-awakening, I had contempt and I did not respect him. It was really bad. And I mean, he felt like he told me all the time, he's like, you have borderline personality disorder, you're a narcissist. Like we did not respect each other. Like it was when things were good, but whenever we were fighting, which was a lot of the time, yeah, we had exactly that. What changed though is when we hit the awakening period, because we finally realized everything we've been fighting about has to do with our own stuff. Like I would yell about the dishes, like I'm the only one cleaning the house and doing the things to take care of the kids. Had nothing to do with that. It had to do with my wound that I think I'm always alone. I think I'm always going to be alone. And what's interesting about that is like then I create that reality where I'm always alone. So I reinforced it. And his reality, like where he was fighting about, is it's never enough. He could never do enough to make me happy. And like he wasn't wrong, like he truly could. And then it kept reinforcing that reality. But it wasn't until literally both of us going through that awakening and saying, okay, well, now I have to look so deeply at myself. So in the beginning, it was really hard. I was terrible at apologizing. I'm still working on it. Like I'm trying to model it for my children constantly, because I was taught that, you know, emotions are weakness, and apologizing basically means you were wrong. And like, I'm never supposed to be wrong. I'm always supposed to be right. I was a real know-it-all. Like, of course I would be a doctor.
You just know it all? No, I don't believe that. No way.
So, like, that was the thing, is like, we truly just both started doing the inner work. And through that, like, which I'm talking years of doing inner work and learning how to live with each other, learning how to apologize. And like, now it looks very different. He does something that either triggers me or the opposite way, and we'll literally stop, we'll breathe, like regulate ourselves. And sometimes we walk away and like, I can't talk about this right now because I'm from a reactive, dysregulated position. And then we come later and I'm like, I'm really sorry. That was my stuff. Like, I was mad at you about something.
Damn, that's where you're at now? That's where you're at. Take a little break. Oh, hey, Beau, it's all me. Sorry. You got me? No.
Sometimes it looks like his own stuff right now is that he's, you know, he's just now coming into his own voice, and how like he's going to start getting on Instagram and speaking, and he's like, I'm terrified. So he's the avoider.
Oh, I want to hear this guy.
Join up.
Join up. Come up.
Go in the other room.
Bro, come on up. Beau, come on.
He's literally at the park with the kids. He's at the park with the kids so that they're not here.
Next time. Wow.
But yeah, so like it looks just totally different, and it's really rare where we even are like that, and we can almost always spot it and just say like, hey, I'm going through something, or whatever it may be. And the other person is just like, okay, I'm here to support you. But like, we also call each other out. Like right now, he's just like, he's been, I just want like avoiding, I don't even know if avoiding's the word, but like, he only does the stuff for our business right now when I specifically give him a task. And he's like, I've been keeping myself from doing it out of the fear that I don't know what I'm doing yet. And I was like, yeah, I know. I was giving you time to figure it out. And he's like, I gotta just go. Like, I gotta move through the fear, which is everything I teach. And I think the next thing we're gonna do is like, I'm gonna coach him through the framework I've been taking clients. Cause we're like, what's a cooler transformation than that I took my husband
right, bro.
What
took you so long? That seems obvious to me. Like, if he's so aware, right? He's at that level of awareness. Oh, you haven't taught him this stuff?
He's been, so we're such different people. Like, I like a guide. I like my guided meditations. I like a mentor.
You like the interesting that
he likes to do it alone.
Me
He's
too.
like
I've done everything alone, basically. And AI actually. We'll talk about that later with AI. But yeah.
But that's like, you know, he just became a breathwork facilitator, and even that was hard for him because he's like, I don't like people telling me what to do when I do my breath work. So even when he's listening to breath work and they're telling him how to breathe, he's like, I like to do it my own way. So like,
me too. I can't listen to anybody. I'm not the guided person. Yeah. I can't do that.
So that's why, because he's like, I just figured out and I do it myself. Whereas like, I like a coach, I like a framework, I like this, lead me through this. So I think now like he's finally kind of ready to try coaching and see what happes.
Woo. When is he going to get on Instagram, though? Is he going to make, what kind of videos? I mean, he must be super bright. What is he going to be talking about? Just, actually, what is he going to be? You're more of this as a guide person and sacred in between, but what would he talk about? Same thing, or what do you think?
Honestly, I think he'll probably talk about addiction and, you know, work, and like literally, like he'll go, like we talked about, like he doesn't even believe in the label of being an alcoholic, because the moment you say, I'm an alcoholic, well, then yes, you are an alcoholic, because now you've identified as one. The moment we identify as whatever that label is, we become it. So like that's going to work for some and not work for others. But even like he was diagnosed with ADHD and he took Adderall. Well, now if you start looking at ADHD and people that then go on Adderall, it actually is a reinforcing loop that makes the ADHD-like behaviors even worse when they go on to Adderall. It drops their dopamine baseline. Then they can't even get the motivation that was already hard for them to get compared to other people. And then they can't do the entrepreneurial thing. So that's the other thing, is he's also learning, like it's taking him, he's just on a different timeline, because like I've learned how to do all this shit through force and grind and hustle. Like I'm learning how to step back from that. And he has only done this work through numbing, through alcohol, through Adderall. He's like, I've never worked in my life without a substance. I don't know how to do that. He's like, I feel like I'm learning how to just be a person.
Wow. Wow. Cisco, so you should learn, Cisco, and stop with your cannabis addiction, Cisco. And you want to know what life is like without cannabis?
I'll stop if you stop.
Touche. Touche.
You
got me, bro. Oh, wow. You're getting too big for your bridges, bro.
I love hearing the contrast, though, and like you guys enduring that together. And then now you guys are seeing like gratitude is medicine, and you know, a relationship is where you test the triggers. It's not that it's supposed to be good forever, and it's now like, is sparring a good word? I don't know, but it's like a healthy, like no one gets hurt in it, but you do feel a punch.
Yeah,
and you're safe here. I'm not running away. You know, you can trust me. So that's what's beautiful to hear. You know, and I'm like, damn, I got to get on Clash of Clans.
You're giving our boy ideas. You're giving our boy ideas.
You never know where you're going to meet your person. Like that.
Yeah, that's
everything.
incredible.
You have, like, you can't predict anything. And probably what source or God or whatever is going to give you is better than you could ever came up with.
Oh, wow. Jess, but let me ask you something. So those video game ladies that play, lady gamers, what are they like? Is there like a pattern? Are they super bright girls, or like you? Or is there like a stereotype, like a true stereotype?
I honestly don't know. Like, we literally stopped playing video games after Clash of Clans, and we both always joke and say, well, we won the game.
Wow.
So, like,
Yeah.
You never went back to the video games after the Clash? Wow.
No. And like part of that is just
interesting.
Like, you know, we have 2 kids, and we try we're very diligent. I really don't believe in screens for children. Like, so it's very hard having like an Instagram business where I'm doing this, and like I catch myself and I'm like, nope, they're not supposed to see that. Like even my 6-year-old the other day, she goes, Mommy, you're on your phone again. And I went, crap, she caught me. Like, I don't want to be on my phone. So like,
why are you on your phone?
Awareness
what are you
teacher.
Looking for? Just for business purposes, or you're looking at your numbers, or
yeah, no, I'm typically like, I like don't even scroll rarely anymore. I'm typically looking at my comments and like writing people back. The most recent, the most recent reel I had was to market my challenge. So like I'm on there voice noting people back, answering questions, doing all that type of stuff.
Tell us about the challenge. Tell us about the challenge and the listeners, and this is going to go on all the podcast players. So yeah, tell us about the challenge.
Yeah. So I guess to start, like I call it Break the Pattern Challenge. And just to go into my story a little bit, was I got onto Instagram. I knew that if I was going to be an author, I had to have a platform. They don't publish any these days. So I'm like, I'm just going to go up there and just talk about my life and talk about my wild beliefs and just see what happens. And so I got on in November, and by January, I went from 14 followers when I started to 40,000 followers.
Damn.
And it was, everyone did that and was like, that's amazing, and like celebrating me and congratulations. And it was fucking terrifying for me. It went from that like visibility expansion made me like completely go like, so what I put it as is your survival self takes over. The most commonly used neural pathway in your brain will start taking over. And for me, that's overworking. So I took that as I work all of the time because that'll keep me safe, because I don't feel safe in this new environment with all these eyes on me. And so I started working until like midnight. I would wake up at 3 a.m. and like writing ideas down. I'd be sitting down trying to play with my children. And I'm like sitting there going, oh, that's a good content idea. Oh, that's something I could start for a business. Like, this is way I could make money. And so I literally, again, I felt like, I think you said it earlier, I felt like I had created the exact same cage of the vet clinic and created it again with Instagram. Like, what am I doing? Like, that's the entire reason I left, was to be home with my children. I was going to homeschool. Now I have them in something called forest school, but it was to be very present and be here with them. They're 6 and 4. They're not going to want me around much longer. So why don't I enjoy this time? And here I am, home all the time, and I'm not present with them. So I got really sick in January. My entire family got the flu, and I was out for 3 weeks. I couldn't work. Wasn't posting, and I was like ready to go. But I also knew that when I restarted, I was going to do the same thing. I was going to go right back into overworking again. I was going to go exactly what my nervous system felt was safe.
But were you aware of this, by the way, Jess? Were you aware? Yeah. You were aware, and you could not break free of your nervous system. You were...
It literally felt like I was outside of my body and watching in and going, what are you doing? And that's where I think awareness, it's beautiful, but it's half the fucking battle. You can't make change with awareness alone. And like, that was my most obvious, like, oh, like, I can say that I want to build from flow and but like, I'm seriously proving otherwise. I'm continuing to do the same thing. So I started instilling something I called a pattern breaker. So as I got healthier, I was like, one, I kind of sat down and I said, what's my story? My story is that rest is not safe. So what do I need to do? I need to rest. Ooh. And for an overachiever, I want to check enough off the to-do list to be allowed to rest. So I couldn't check enough off to do. I had to do it in the middle of the day, and I took a walk. It's so fucking simple. I took a walk for 10 minutes. And I always talk about this story because the first 2 walks, I had an anxiety attack on the very first one. My husband went with me. He was literally like, okay, feel your feet on the ground, like take in some breaths. I mean, literally, I felt like my world was collapsing, and I only set myself up for a 10-minute walk. That was almost too big. And that's the other thing I always talk about is when you're training your nervous system to do something new, it has to be 5% safer, which is the other reason I get so sick of all the manifestation content. Like, you just close your eyes and you pretend you're this new identity and you're it. No, you have to train your nervous system that it's safe to be it. And it happens slowly, but then it starts snowballing really fast. Those 10-minute walks turned into 2 walks a day, turned into me going back to yoga again, turned into me taking Sundays off. And then eventually I took the whole weekend off. Now, because the girls are out for school, I tend to take 2 days off in the middle of the week. But like, I pack in time. I couldn't have done that before. It would have felt like everything was falling apart. Right. And it's literally that physical action broke that survival pattern that was running me.
Yes, physical. It has to be physical, guys. Guys, the pattern interrupt cannot just be mental. Something physical needs to happen. For me, it was pressing the record button finally on my thing in January 16th. It had to be physical. I could think it, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do it, no. And then, and I was like, and I finally
it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good.
As shit. And I think that's the other thing. Everyone thinks like, oh, but like it's easy for you. Like, no. Like when you press that record button, your whole nervous system, you're like, please don't do it. Like,
she gets it. She gets it. Hey, but Jess, we got a new hello, Shark Bait. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Hello from Florida.
Good. You enjoying the conversation and our special guest, Dr. Jess? What do you think?
Oh yes, absolutely. I just joined, so I'm kind of just walking on the tail end, I guess.
All right. Okay. So if you have any questions, enjoy, and we're going to continue the show. If you have any questions, let us know. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, Jess. So let's go back because this is very, very important because you've read the Atomic Habits. So it's that kind of idea, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's very, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us again. So maybe, and you can walk through your, so where, how did you discover this? Because there was this free something that you learned, the dog story,
The fear
right?
free.
And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Tell us of that and how it connects to the 5% safer and why 5%. And
totally.
yeah.
Totally.
Explain that.
So yeah, so I, probably not a surprise. I love to collect certifications as a vet, just like everything else in my life. And I became a fear-free certified veterinarian, which basically means like if you think about most dogs are very anxious or terrified to go to the vet. I'm going to be the vet like you're going to take the most scared or the most aggressive dog to. And the thing is
Mm,
when you have a very aggressive dog, like their nervous system or terrified as an animal, right? Like they are going to want to attack or bite you because that's just the fear response. They're in a survival mode, right? The sympathetic nervous system is really heightened. That's where we're in fear, fight, or flight or fawn. And fight, flight, or fawn, or freeze.
what is
And
fawn? Oh, freeze is freeze. Fawn is,
freeze
oh, like a
freeze
fawn.
and fawn are similar. Fawn you
Hmm.
can kind of think of as like a little bit people pleasing, like yes, I'll do whatever you say. Whereas
Oh,
freeze is
fawn.
just like totally numb,
All
like fawn.
right.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
fawn like a baby deer. Um,
Uh-huh.
but so what happens is like when you rush to do everything, they actually get more aggressive because now you've proved to their nervous system that you are terrifying. So, the next time they come in to see you, now you have to muzzle them. Now you need 2 technicians to hold them down so you can even do an exam. So the whole point of being fear-free certified means that I go very, very slow. I'm actually spending my time, and the big thing is like not making eye contact with them. I'm throwing them treats. I'm training them very slowly that my presence isn't a threat. And eventually
Mm,
I would have dogs, and this took time, but I would have dogs that went from wanting to literally bite me when I walked through the exam room. Like I've had a German Shepherd this close to my face to allowing me to do almost an entire exam without a muzzle. And it just takes very long time. And for the nervous system to learn, like, I'm not going to hurt you, you are safe. And that is literally what they do with people's fears. If you're terrified of a tarantula, they're not going to take the tarantula and throw it at you. They're going to start with you sitting in the
mm,
room with the tarantula in a cage on the opposite side. Over time, whether it's days to weeks, they start moving the cage closer and closer and closer to you until eventually they're putting it on you. And you're proving to the nervous system that it is safe with each of these new experiences, that the world isn't falling apart. So like for me, that I went
mm.
on a 10-minute walk, my story is that rest isn't safe, the world will collapse, my business will fail. I came back after that first walk having an anxiety attack. I didn't lose a single follower. There was not one message that was like, oh my God, where were you? And like that tiny little space of time told my nervous system, oh, it's okay to take care of myself. It's okay to become
Mm.
somebody new. And so over time, I've taught myself that I don't have to constantly work. And now I'm kind of moved into this new thing where I realize I have this underlying controller who likes to control it all. And I control everything by thinking too much, which is why I can't drop into presence. So my current pattern breaker is working on
Mm.
being present. And it literally looks like sitting in meditation for 5 minutes right now with no sound. Because I like
Mm.
guided because I like to be
Mm.
told what to do. But like I
Mm.
need nothing and no stimulation.
Mm. But what about right now, Jess? Aren't you fully present right now?
Yeah, totally. The harder part for me, like, is being present in with nothing to do, nowhere to go. Like there's
Mm.
nothing on the schedule. And that's where I often find I need cannabis because then like I'll just give an example. On Saturday, my parents took my girls and we had a night alone and a day
Hmm.
alone. And I spent half of Sunday working because I was like, oh, I finally have time. And then the other half I spent doing absolutely nothing. And there was this
Wow.
part of me where I was like, oh, I really want to go back on the computer. Oh,
Really?
maybe I
You had
should
the itch?
read.
You had the
Yes,
itch?
yes. It's like, and I did, and it's just like, it's okay. One, we need to normalize fucking boredom because we live in a society where we're all like, oh, I'm bored. I need my phone. I got to do this or I got to check this notification. Like,
Hmm.
just be bored. Just like when we were kids. like we're constantly hacking our own, or like lowering our brain and our dopamine by constantly being stimulated with all this stuff. So it's that uncomfortableness inside of boredom. So I guess that's my bigger deal, is like I have to find things to do to fill the space. And I'm learning how to just be without doing anything.
Wow, just sitting back, doing nothing, just chilling, just by yourself.
Yeah.
Oh man, what do you think, Cisco? It's amazing.
No, I love the practicing boredom. That's actually something I've been doing. I'm a Gen Z who grew up on devices, so I've been so overstimulated. I've been practicing boredom. And my version of that, because I struggle to sit down, I've been actually doing walking, and 1 hour to up to 2 hours. I basically have this bike path, and I just walk like 2 miles one way, and then I walk 2 miles back. No headphones, no stimulation.
Next question. Perfect. Nice.
I'm trying to focus on my breath the best I can. I get caught in thoughts, work through them. Personal relationships, or it could be like working in my family business, and there's all this crazy stuff, and then either work through it or I come back to the breath. Or again, I'm like looking at trees, or I'm looking at, because being present, I mean, that's what your gift is. I read Way of the Superior Man, and the masculine gift is your presence and having this unshakable consciousness. And so living in the mind and living in ideas and language, like I say that language is the technology of ego, because if language didn't exist, you would just be awareness only. So no labeling. Like a tree is not a tree, it just is. But we created a word tree to like identify something.
That was my first reel to go viral, is right there. A tree is not a tree. That was my
Really?
first reel.
He said a tree. You know what? One, it didn't go super viral, but it did well. It was does a tree make a sound in the forest when it falls if no one's there? You know, that kind of sound. It's the tree thing. Oh yeah, Dave.
Tree.
So it was great to just hear everything you're saying, and then I was relating it to my situation, because I just feel like as a young person, I've been so scatterbrained, and like I'm inheriting a lot of beliefs, and I'm defending beliefs that I inherited, but it's like I didn't consciously choose or create this. So I'm actually in this point where I need to detox from all this stimulation. I'm not perfect, like I still doom scroll here and there, but the pattern interruption is like, so basically like 2 to 4 times a week. I'm just like, I'm going on this fucking long walk. Nobody texts me. I'll be okay. I'll come back. And I'm gone for like 2 hours.
Wow. 2 hours now?
Yeah.
Wow.
I stroll. I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
No brisk walking.
Hey,
and
do you have any questions for Jess though? Because she's any other issues that she can give an opinion? Like because you have so many problems, bro. Man, we got an expert here. We got an expert.
I guess it's the difference in nervous system, because like a book, Psycho-Cybernetics, it's talking about how you can use visualization and imagination to basically, because your subconscious can't tell the difference between a real experience or an imagined, and you can essentially start putting yourself in a new self-image and experiencing something in a point of view, and you have to practice that 15 to 30 minutes. But I kind of want to learn more about the nervous system, because you have different terms for like para something. And I guess I want to ask you about that.
Yeah, so we'll just like go into the terms first. Like, so we all, I mean, every animal, basically, this is how we've evolved, is we have basically 2 types of nervous system, or response really, is we have the sympathetic nervous system. And you can think about that as like, that's your fight, flight, or freeze. So like when a lion is going to chase after you, you want that sympathetic response to pop in, so your adrenaline shoots up, right? Your heart, like you start taking blood away from the digestive system. You don't need to be digesting right now. You need it for the energy to run and go. So like that's what the sympathetic nervous response what was evolved and created for. The parasympathetic is rest and digest. So that is when we are at, that beautiful feeling of just being in relaxation. We're not worried about anything. Literally, you can think about when we are digesting food, the heart rate is slowing down. So that's also when we're going to be able to create, be able to act from our prefrontal cortex, or I like to call the prefrontal cortex part of your brain the CEO. That is the conscious mind. That is where all your logic and the thinking is happening. Not all the thinking, but the logical thinking brain. So those two is kind of how we evolved. What has happened in our modern society is that almost all of us are sitting in that we're not in parasympathetic anymore. We're in sympathetic almost all of the time. Because we can't differentiate. Say your boss emails you, you have like a regular job, and a boss emails you something and you immediately go into fight, flight, or freeze. You can't tell the difference between that email being the lion or being that email from your boss. Right?
Wow.
So like we're constantly, all the time, all these notifications we get on our phone, emails pinging, maybe it's somebody you're in a fight with, scrolling, you're
politics,
sympathetic.
war, like you're just getting triggered like 1,000 times a day.
It's like it's like you're facing a lion, bro. That's literally like she's saying, you're facing a lion.
Because this is all primal. It can't distinguish. Wow.
And the biggest thing about that is that when you're in that mode, which is almost all the time in this society, it's pro-inflammatory, which means we're literally in a state of inflammation almost all of the time.
Oh my God. Damn.
So that's why, again, like, yeah, there's a lot of things we can talk about of why disease rates are going up. It's more than that, but we're also living in this chronic stress. There are studies that truly link chronic stress causes autoimmune disease and causes cancer. There's a direct correlation to that. This is part of the reason that happens. Then we won't go into all the other things, but like the toxins and all of that. But like also, they design news to be like that. It is fear mongering. They don't spend a lot of time on all the happy, wonderful things happening in the world.
And
go ahead.
No, too. And on one of your videos, you talked about the RAS. I wonder if any of this
Let's talk. It was your most viral video, right? It was an amazing video. I loved, like, it was actionable as well. You were like, let's do this. Can you just go over it was a 90-second video. So can you go over the big broad strokes and tell us about it?
Yeah, so we'll first just talk about the RAS, which is called the reticular activating system, and is like one of the coolest parts of the brain. And also, if you're into like spirituality and manifestation, people love to talk about it because it's what filters our reality. So it's connected to other parts of the brain, but mostly the RAS is going to be the reason you're like, man, I really want to buy a gray Honda Civic. And then all of a sudden you're driving and all you see is a gray Honda Civic. And you're like, oh, I never saw this car so much. You filtered your brain to start looking for it because now you want to buy that car, right? So our RAS is filtering 99.999% of our reality out. We are bombarded with about 11 million bits of sensory information every second.
11 million, guys. 11 million sensory bits coming at us. Okay.
Which, when I say sensory, right, I mean sight, smell, right, taste, hearing, feel. So we can only consciously perceive 50 bits.
Dude,
So
50 out of 11 million, bro. We can perceive. There are 8 million things going that we can capture. We can only capture 50 of them out of the 8 million.
Wow.
So then the question becomes, what are you filtering for?
Oof. Damn, I gotta make a video about this. This is amazing. Damn, I gotta go deep.
Wow.
And that's why it gets so important on what are your beliefs? What are your thoughts? What are your habits? Because our subconscious, so now we get into our subconscious a little bit, it's part of the RAS. Like when we talk about the subconscious mind, it's truly a part of the brain. It's not some woo-woo thing. It's a part of the whole body. So when you talk about the subconscious, that's 95%. The conscious mind is 5%. So that's why you go back to like, I wanted to build this business. I wanted to build a business of flow and like live in my purpose. And I got hit with a visibility threat. Like that was a threat to my system. And my system went, woo, woo, I know what to do with that. we go into overworking. That's what keeps us safe. So I know I just took it away from the RAS, but like that's how we get into like these autopilot. We go back to what we know. The nervous system prefers, I love to say this, I can't remember where I heard it, but the nervous system prefers a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven.
I love that. Can you say that again? Cisco, please pay attention. Can you repeat that, Jess?
The nervous system will always prefer an familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven.
Wow.
And the biggest reason is we like
a video idea right there. Jess, you're giving me so many video ideas. I'm so grateful.
Content inspiration.
Yeah. Go on.
This is why we collaborate and remember.
Collaboration. Right? Let's go. I'm sorry, Jess. Go ahead.
Wow.
So basically is like when that 95% takes over, you're going to go back to what's safe, whatever is safest for you, which is why we can sit here and say, let's just change everything we want to consciously. So I'm going to build this business and all these things. And you do for a little while, right? Like that's why Atomic Habits is fantastic. And we can do that with habits, but willpower and discipline will only get you so far. You have to learn to identify as this new version of yourself.
And then it becomes super easy. Vibe Samurai is getting easier and easier, guys. So natural now. Yeah, you're right.
Like it's become your identity. Like you believe, and you've proved that it's safe, so you don't have to revert back to what used to be safe, how you used to be. And like the more we give ourselves evidence, like so my Break the Pattern Challenge, this is what I led people through, is finding their own pattern breaker, whatever that may be for them, and instilling it in their life over 30 days. And I remember at the very last one that I did like a bonus Q&A, and I talked about my people pleasing and how I've been working on it for years and how I had to work up to the safest, starting with somebody I didn't respect and moving that up to somebody that I really, really love and is really hard to say no to, especially without saying, I'm sorry, you know, maybe we can do it this way, like having all these platitudes. And they're like, oh, I didn't know this was going to take forever. And I was like, yeah, but I'm telling you that that's not even something I've worked on. It's just happened over time. I learned how to instill this pattern breaker, and now I'm watching my life snowball. Like I have identified in like, I am an author. I am like, honestly, like I'm going to make movies. I'm going to make TV shows. And I genuinely believe that. If I would have said that,
I can't wait.
Wild dreams.
Jess, can you invite me and Cisco to the opening party of the movie?
Premiere.
Come on, you okay? Yeah, hell yeah, tickets, baby! Woo! Unbelievable. Hey, Jess, but let me ask you something as a fellow content creator, because look, I am identifying as the Vibe Samurai, but like when sometimes I make videos and I don't get the love, Jess, and I feel shame and I go into a spiral. Now I'm realizing I literally go into a spiral. I'm like, you're not good enough. Everybody hates you. You're worthless. And like, you got to do harder. You got to go. And then I try to like think even more. I'm talking to AI. And then at some point I'm like, bro, calm down. Like, bro, just chill, go for a walk. You know, you need some rest. Actually, you haven't slept for a while. You know, it was a vibe sesh. And the next day I'm like tired, right? But like, I have to say, it's because you didn't sleep, bro. You need mind-body connection. You need to be clear in order for this creative stuff to come out. You know, so, but it's difficult though. Like even now, right? That story and that spiral, you know, but what should I do about it? Any advice?
I think, I mean, I have advice and take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but like it's detaching from the numbers, because like, why did you start this to begin with? Truly, like, what was your purpose? What's your why? And like, for me, it was if I could help one person not feel alone in the darkness of this journey, because I saw so much like the spiritual world is just love and light and healing and high vibes. Like, no, it's fucking dark, dude.
Dude, it's dark. Yes.
It's dark. And I felt alone. And like, thank God I did have my husband, because we ended up being able to do it together. But like,
That's
I think
amazing.
about people who have nobody, and like your family thinks you're like, my family thinks I'm nuts with the shit I believe in. Like, if I only had them.
You must be fun on Thanksgiving, huh?
I just know when to say certain things and when to not say certain
You're
things.
that one.
I push a little bit sometimes, and then I just throttle back. Like, I'm letting them like really get to know the authentic me. They just know, they know what things to not bring up, because then they get a little uncomfortable. So my point, detach from the numbers, because like, when, like, be honest, when you make like that really, really good content, it came from one when you were arrested, one when you kind of put it out, like, how much of your content you're like, that's not going to pop off, and like, that's the one. I put
that happens all the time. What is going on with that? My God.
Attached.
Right. You're
So,
right.
like, you can look at the analytics and stuff, but it's like, you still have to keep this form of detachment. Like, one, some are going to do well and some aren't. Some are going to do well later. Like, I had a quantum physics one go up.
Me too. A quantum. I call them slow burners, Jess.
They're slow burners. And then it blew up. And I had to stop looking at the comments at that one, because the amount of people that told me I'm an absolute idiot, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I was like, okay.
More girl.
Whatever. Yeah, wow. It's not like my wheelhouse, but I do love the quantum, so whatever.
Hey, but Jess, let's come back to that video. So tell us, the RSA, we going into tangents, but like, what, like, explain that version that you were talking about in the video, and what we should do, and looking at for like 10. I started doing it, and it's amazing. Like, you know, I'm still early. Yeah, but tell us what you discovered, you doing it yourself. Yeah.
So honestly, I learned this from my spiritual mentor, and I'll just throw her name out there because I always love to give her shameless plugs. Like, her name's Ascend with Abby, and you should absolutely have her on your show. If she's crazy busy. She has the best app in the world, but like, she changed my life. She introduced me to a lot of these concepts, and she really taught me it through kind of gratitude, collecting evidence of things to be grateful for. Especially like when I was really low. One of the times was, you know, I heard Beau was drinking again while I was working with her, and she's like, you're in a freeze response. And like, we went through all the things to do. And one of the things she said is like, start practicing gratitude. Every morning you wake up, every night before you go to bed, like, write everything you're grateful for. And so I started doing that. And one, it's very similar, because now even though I'm not using the science terms, you're collecting evidence of all the things you should be grateful for. And then you start seeing it. And therapists have been using this for a long time with people that are in depression. They have them start a gratitude journal. So what whenever I made that reel, it was about a month ago now, everything just felt like it was piling up. Nothing seemed to be going my way. And I was like, well, shit, I should just use my RAS with everything I know and just say, brain, show me proof that life is easy. And the day before, we had lost a library book, and it's only our second one, but I threw an adult-sized tantrum about it, because like, now I'm gonna have to pay for this book, and why can't you 4- and 6-year-old keep track of your things? Like, I'm the parent. And so I threw a tantrum. The next day,
this is awareness, guys, right there. Yeah. This is high level.
This is gross.
Not perfect.
Oh, damn.
If somebody tells you they don't throw tantrums or that they're perfect, fucking run, because they're lying, unless they're the Buddha. Like, they're rare. So I started filming. I got my script all ready, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to teach about all this stuff. And then literally before I go to film it, I was like, all right, brain, show me proof that life is easy. I set my camera up. I roll my whiteboard out, and as I'm rolling the whiteboard out, I look down, and that freaking library book is right there on the floor.
No!
Wow.
Damn! That's the power of RAS. I gotta make so many videos about this. I want to spread the word. It makes sense. Bro, this is not woo-woo. This is not woo-woo. We have the ability to capture 50 whatever bits out of 8. And so think about how powerful that ray is. If you're focused on that, 50, you understand? Out of 8 million, you are choosing where you're going to expend those scarce resources of 50 bits out of 8 million. Think about that. How
That's like
powerful that is.
it's like the 300 Spartans, like by your, you know, it's your attention. That's like, you can, wow.
And like, if you've ever heard what you focus on expands,
Mhm.
that's what it means. Like literally what you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on your negative thoughts, your negative habits, everything negative in your life, yeah, you're going to keep seeing everything negative. Now, if you can start, and you have to start small, which is why you can't just say like, okay, brain, show me proof that making $1 million is easy. Like, well,
Right.
I mean, scroll social media, it makes you feel like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. So much noise. Uh-huh.
So one, scroll less. Stop scrolling.
Yes.
Yeah. But Jess, so what do you think about like about the inner voice? So what do you think about like, do you feel like your intuition or inner voice is, why is it so quiet? See, I've been thinking about this, even in my own case. Well, like, why is it so quiet? Why isn't it screaming? If it's so good for me, just say, Bruno, this is what you're supposed. This is what you're supposed to, but like everything else is loud, but that inner voice is quiet. And so I felt like my conclusion is that's what it is. It's not that it's not loud. It's just that everything else is it's louder, So what do you think? You agree or yeah?
No, I do agree. And I think like we live in an external reality that's competing with our attention constantly. And we're also living in a reality where people know this shit. Like, I'm not amazed. I didn't figure this out. I read this from neuroscientists. So like high level marketing ad agencies, they know this. They know like if they make you feel like you lack in something, you're going to want to purchase whatever it is. You're going to want to go on their pharmaceutical because it's going to make you feel better. So we don't live in a culture that's rewarding us for going within, listening to the voice. And then you put on top of that, we've been programmed and conditioned from the moment we were born. So we have all of these voices in our head. And that's why you have to get to know yourself really well, because whose voice is talking to you?
Discernment right there, right?
Exactly.
Because sometimes you got a lot of voices, right? Like it could come from trauma, it could come from different fears, right? So
and you're programmed to seek authority from the outside, which is
exactly. We are not like whether it's intentional or unintentional, we are absolutely programmed to look for an external authority and not listen to the internal authority. Like most of us don't even think we have one. So yeah, the voice is quiet. We've never been taught how to listen to it.
Oh man, I gotta go.
Another video
This is a deeper video idea. I gotta replay the transcript here. Damn. Oh my God. Wow. That's unbelievable. So, what do you recommend, Jess, to listen to the inner voice more? Just stop scrolling, clear your mind. It's clarity, right? But how do we achieve clarity in this crazy world? What do you think? I mean, it seems insurmountable. So many things. I got to be careful of the authority and the politics and this influence and that influence. What do you recommend? Is it meditation? What is a practical to get to that inner voice, to be able to listen to it more clearly?
Yeah, I think it's one, finding what works best for you. But I'm going to be honest. I think meditation is for everybody. I think
say that too. Mm-hmm.
I think there's a point where you have to learn how to meditate, and there's a point where it's not necessarily safe. So like you have to make it safe in your system, because there's been points in my life where meditation, sitting with my thoughts, was not a good thing. So like I had to build to get there. That's why I had to start with the guided meditations. So it all goes back to, yeah, there's a lot you can do to change. There's like I could talk to you about the gut brain, the heart brain. Like we have more than one brain inside of our body that's talking. they have literally linked that certain parasites will send you for signals for sugar cravings. Like, we have competition of voices even inside of our entire body.
Wow.
That's also the subconscious. That's the 95% subconscious. So one, having the cleanest vessel you can, eating whole food, sleeping, you already said it, like getting full night's sleep and rest, taking care of your physical body, which does mean like elevating your heart rate every day, breaking a sweat. Like partly that's just good for you, but you're also detoxing out a lot of the toxins we can talk about what they're spraying in the air. Like, there's so many external things that are happening that we can talk about, but the simplest thing you can do is get to know yourself. However you can, whether it's breath work, whether it's meditation, right? It doesn't, just find something that, for me, I think yoga was probably the first thing. I wasn't spiritual yet, and I started going to yoga, and it was just like, it was a slow burn. I want to go back to the slow burn. Like, I heard a lot of things they talked about, and I was like, okay. And now I'm like, tell me more. Oh my God, these ancient people knew a lot of stuff, huh? Like, so I think it's get to know yourself, but find a practice that feels safe to you and feels possible.
Yeah. Jess, but so what do you think about coaches and teachers and guides like you? Because you have been through so many different things, right? Quantum healing, this teacher, that teacher. What do you think about that? Because a lot of people, I feel like they do a lot of these courses. They do talk to teachers, right? And then like I feel like I've seen so many of these situations where people say, yeah, I've done the work. I know my patterns, but they still have the issues. But then when you really talk to them, you're like, you didn't see this pattern, and they think like the job is done, but it's never done. Because you can easily get back into that trap. And also talk about, Jess, about how as you become more aware, you're able to react faster. You get able to get back on the horse faster. Tell us about that. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So, well, let me just start with like, the more first you learn to see your trigger, like just being able to get on the horse faster. Like, when you get triggered, like whatever it is, how do I want to say this? We want to consciously, like, see, I'm trying not to like go super sciencey, but we have a path in our brain that has fired for me for over like 39 years. It's to get really angry really fast. And so when you like, and what I have learned, like what I uncovered with my anger is I don't like helplessness. I don't like feeling out of control. Anger, I can control. I can direct that at somebody. So the moment I feel anger at something, or I feel whatever it is, I immediately, like, it's habit now. And in calm, regulated moments, I have spent over the last 2 years doing a 4-7-8 breath, 2 minutes a day, 4 to 6 times a day. While I'm washing dishes, I'm vacuuming, I've made it muscle memory so that when I get triggered, the first thing I do is I start breathing. And then you get into the nervous system, right? A pattern interrupter. And then you get into the nervous system, and our parasympathetic response will start coming back online, which again is when the CEO can come back online, the prefrontal cortex. So that can start coming back online, so you can now choose your reaction instead of reacting the same way you've always done. So I think the reason people do all of these courses, all of this stuff is, and I know there are people out there that are doing real change, but they're always the people that are talking about changing your identity.
Yes.
Working with, that's right. Like it's truly changing who you are. And to me, when people say that, I really think it's just remembering who you really are.
Ah, damn, bro.
We're born perfect. Like, in my opinion, we are born perfect. Baby Hitler wasn't born and everyone was like, that's going to be an evil person right there. Like, every single baby, we are born perfect. And then the world hits us with all this conditioning and programming. So just the reason I say that is, when we go through this inner work, when we learn how to, and we're not going to never be triggered again. I think that's another thing, but I'll come back to it, is that we're really remembering who we truly are underneath the conditioning, underneath the programming. And when you find that person again, that's the person who's whole. They never needed to be fixed. They just needed to be found again. And I think that's the healing loop we get in. When we're told we're broken, we're told we have to figure out how to fix ourselves. So then we're in this loop of I constantly have to fix myself. Well, that's a whole different nervous system rewiring where now you're looking for yourself to always be broken. Does that make sense?
Keeps you on that hamster wheel.
Someone said everything you needed to learn, you learned in kindergarten, and it's facts, man. Especially,
damn. So
like
true.
my girl, you want to learn about presents? Go hang out with them. They're not worried about what their friends are like. They're 6 and 4. Like my 6-year-old, it's starting to come online. What do other people think about me? But not that much.
She's offline right now. Dude, that's
right,
the place to be. Offline, baby. That's where I want to go.
There. It's better.
Wow.
Hey, Jess, we're approaching the last 10 minutes. Can you briefly, because I have so many more questions, but can you briefly tell us about your obsession with spirals?
Yeah, so I think it goes back to what I was just saying is that we think healing is linear. So like, and I don't even like saying healing. So I guess like remembrance of coming home, if I'm going to get into my spiritual jargon, but like we think, okay, I've done the therapy and now I'm going to go like this and I'm healed. Like, that's just not how life works. What I have found is like for myself is that I have healed in spirals. And it's not like I've started here and then I kind of go down here and then it kind of goes down again. And then I come back up and then, but I'm making steps. It's almost like you're going up a mountain. I think it's, I call it the mountain too. So like you're making your way up the mountain and you get to a plateau. That's not the top of the mountain. You need to keep climbing. So things might get hard again. It's almost like levels in a video game again. Like you're just going to reach the next boss. It all goes back to the upper limit problem we talked about again. Like we're always going to find that it's this cycle. Now you can choose to spiral down or you can choose to spiral up. And once you realize you have the choice, nobody's going to take that choice from you. They literally can't.
Spiral up or spiral up? The spiral goes both ways. Oh my God. Once again, it's, you know. And
I think like for some people, they don't necessarily want to change. They don't want to do the work. And that's okay too. Like we're all here for our own experience. Like to even sit here and talk about this stuff, some people are going to go like, why are you doing any of that? That's ridiculous. And like
that's not our people. That's not our people.
And like, I think when you get to this stage, you're just like, yeah, I just got to find my tribe. And like, I ain't deal with anything else.
I love it. We found Jess. It's so awesome. Yeah. Amazing. Hey, Jess, so for the final thing, I wanted you to tell us about the 12-book series because in your Substack, guys, in her sub, the thing that I remember, I wanted to ask her about it because she was like, the real dream, guys. That's what she said on her Substack. So the real big dream is the following. It's to make a 12-book series. It's a metaphysical fiction series about consciousness. It's the same dream that the 13-year-old girl abandoned. She was thinking about a 12-book metaphysical fiction series about consciousness at 12 years old, guys, or 13 years old. So tell us about this. Why the 12 books? Tell us whatever you can share about this amazing book. And
Yeah. So, I think back then I was really obsessed with times and timeline, and that's what really has gotten taken over. But everything else has really stemmed from my own awakening. But it's 12 books, and I have this real wild, crazy belief, which I won't bore you with tonight, that the world is comprised of 3, 6, 9, 12. Like that's the secrets of the universe. Nikola Tesla thought it was 3, 6, 9. I think there's just one more and it's 12. So my books has turned into each part of the 12 is a trilogy. So the first 3 of the trilogy is, I'm like looking at my notebook. So because I'm such a nerd, I have this is my journal that I write all of my books.
Oh man, that's giant.
Amazing.
Oh my God, you can kill somebody with that.
Damn.
Damn.
My
Boom,
husband
boom.
But the first three it's basically kind of the hero's journey on individual awakening and what that looks like. And the first three of the trilogy, it's actually based off my firstborn daughter and watching her go from very angry into just like realizing her potential and who she is. And basically the villain is going to be herself, because what we find at the end of the day is there's nobody outside of us. It all comes within here, and you have to learn to integrate the shadow, integrate yourself into the whole. I don't kill off my shadow. I've learned to love and integrate it, because my shadow is actually teaching me something. It's an unconscious, and that's where we get into Carl Jung. So there's a lot of that in there. And where I get to play with it is it's a whole dream world that she's actually in. So there's going to be dragons and crazy mythic creatures. Like I have all sorts of, I have like a book just on Scottish mythic folk tales. So I can be like really out there and also bring in what's real.
Loch Ness Monster.
There's going to be something crazy. And then the next three is actually kind of based off Beau and I's awakening itself. And they actually go back in time and they learn relational awakening inside of Atlantis. And they
inside Atlantis? What are you trying to do in Atlantis? The lost city? You guys found it?
Yep.
Damn.
We're going back in time.
Okay.
Save it. And then the next three are basically, it's my second born, and those three, she's going to go to Lemuria and she's going to learn the power of her voice. So she's my daughter who was born with a cleft lip and palate, and she's going to discover that because of her difference, with everyone telling her she's different, she looks different, it's because of that she's the only one who can sing the song of creation and destruction. And if you look at the myth of Lemuria, it's that there was no duality, and there's only it was all kind of just love and light. It was just a different, so I won't go into it. But so she's going to learn about that. And then the last three is going to be, my husband and I want a third daughter. A third child, because I'll take any baby that's healthy. And
but you said daughter. You said daughter, bro. Jess, you said daughter. It's okay. Yeah, why don't you put it out?
Manifest.
Let's manifest it. Let's manifest it. RAS this thing. Come on,
that's
RAS.
Right. So she's going to basically have this power to go into different timelines and actually heal them. And then eventually she'll go 100,000 years in the future and help heal Earth. That's tried to take the love, light, and vibe way to make it to the next level or density of Earth. And they're going to be bypassing their shadows. So she's going to teach them how to integrate their shadows. So I'm going to have a lot of wild shit all weaved in.
Damn.
But I want you to read the final book and be like, holy shit, she brought that up in the first book. Like, I'm like,
wow.
That's amazing.
Hey, Jess, so where are you in this process?
so I have all of the books outlined. I have like the framework. The first and second books I have like pretty much scene by scene. And then I have 30,000 words written for the first book. But I wrote that like a year and a half ago, and I'm afraid to reread it because I was such a different person. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it or what it's going to look like.
Damn. Wow.
30,000.
It's going to be fun.
That sounds amazing. You're going for your childhood dreams, Jess. This is amazing.
Bruno,
Wow. Yeah.
there's one question that you can ask as well. The eternal loop.
You ask this our final
No, you
question.
set it up. You set it up.
No,
so
you
well.
do it so great. Come on, go ahead, Cisco. You're my co-host, so you set up the. We asked this question, Jess, as the final question of the night. Okay. Oh, she's doing her hand. But before we end the night like that, Jess, tell people about your workshop. You said there's something coming up on the fall. What's going on with tell us more, and then this is going to be recorded and everything. So yeah, let us know.
Cool. So in the fall, I'm going to run another one of my Break the Pattern challenges. I like to do it live, so you actually are in the room with me. So I do 3 live Zoom sessions, and then I typically do a bonus Q&A. I just don't announce it. But I let the people kind of choose the day and time. And I also have one-on-one coaching. I'm pretty much going to do it. I decided today I'm actually going to offer group coaching so that there's a more kind of one mid-ticket instead of just my high-ticket option, so people have an option to get in. But also, I love groups. The very first Break the Pattern challenge I did, I had a story that I could not lead a group. I could only do one-to-one, and I pushed through the fear, because every time fear shows up, it tells you that's what you should be doing. And I loved it. I loved group coaching. I loved watching people, like, nervous system co-regulation is a real thing, right?
Right, we know Cisco Vibe Sessions, right?
Yeah.
Like in the co-regulation.
It's so cool. Like, watching people like say their patterns out loud they've never said to anyone, to strangers, and then other people being like, oh my God, I've been going through that my entire life. It was beautiful. It felt so cool to just be a part of that. So I'm going to offer a group coaching, but I'm probably going to let people who haven't done Break the Pattern in. It's just they'll have to do a week kind of before it starts to start the whole challenge, because you need to know your patterns first. I'm going to call it Break the Ceiling instead of Break the Pattern, because it's the next level. We're going to let the limit. That's why I love that we talk about that today. We're going to break through that glass ceiling.
Yeah, let's go.
So I have that group coaching that I'm going to start marketing and going for at this point. And then I am pretty much, I just got a lawyer. I got offered a high-end original TV series with Spark TV. So I'm probably going to be starting a TV show. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a spiral. It's the vortex, guys.
Wow.
She's in the vortex.
She's going up.
You know what the Higgs vortex, Jess? You read the?
Yeah.
I think. You okay? So you're in the vortex right now, right? You're in the vortex.
Yep, totally. Yeah.
Oh,
So
amazing.
Yeah, a lot of things, playing with a lot of stuff.
All right, guys. Jess, please follow Jess. And the final question, Cisco, go ahead.
All right. I'll be authentic, and I feel like I'm going to butcher it. But
it's that simplest question, dude.
Because I forget where it was sourced from, but basically we like to ask this question to the guests at the conclusion of a Vibe Sesh. So the eternal loop, we ask you, what sort of experience, and you're going to love like experiencing this over and over. You're not going to get sick of it. Like, you're absolutely happy. What is one experience that you could live on an eternal loop?
Ooh. Honestly, I can think of a day. Like, I could
tell us about that day. Tell us about that day.
It was that I almost had left the vet clinic, but like, we took our trailer out camping. I had nothing to do, nowhere to be, and it was just me and my girls and Beau, and like, I could just out in nature, just being there. And we went on the paddleboard. I could do that over and over and over again for the rest of my life.
That's beautiful.
Nature, family, kids, hubby. Oh my gosh. Eternal loop all day. I love that eternal loop. I would take that eternal loop. Guys, amazing. Cisco, Jess, you were amazing. Best Vibe Sesh ever. No, Cisco? What did you
Best
think?
Vibe Sesh.
Oh.
I learned a lot here. RAS. How do you say it again?
Parasympathetic.
Parasympathetic.
Parasympathetic nervous system.
I'm going to research that because, and I love I think what's a breakthrough for myself was the 11 million bits, and we're working on 50 bits. That kind of helped it. I'm like, oh, all right.
That did it for me.
It's so scarce. It's so scarce. And then you're just throwing it away with
exactly. But think about it. It's so scarce. You only have a limited life. So the question is, where are you pointing your fucking attention to? Those 50 bits.
Units. Yeah. It's like, what?
Just amazing. Thank you so much. It was amazing meeting you, okay? We'll keep in touch. All right?
Sounds great. All right.
All right. Amazing. Thank you, guys. See you guys next time. Thank you.